Oh, yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
He breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds, too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati.
We are live.
Technical difficulties on a Sunday. One of my studio lights out. Microphone and camera not working. How to reboot the computer? Why? I don't know. Hopefully, this won't be the case with the New York Jets and their offense come the beginning of the season. If you look at YouTube right now, pinned on the top of the comments section is a link. That link will bring you into the show. Today is a call-in show. It's a call-in show today, folks. A call-in show. Boy, I wish I can get this camera not to be so zoomed in so I was able to not have my head cut off. So it's technically we have moved to a Mac computer, and it's causing all kinds of chaos. And isn't that the name of the game? Chaos. Anyway, today's question is, have the Jets done enough? Are we done yet? What's left to do? What's left, Knobcraft? What's left? It's like when you cook the perfect dish. You got the pasta. You got all the pasta and the vegetables cut in and the garlic, and you added the oil. And then you taste it. I could see you with your little chef's hat on, your hair tied up into a bun. And you say, what's left? What's left to make the perfect meal? That's the question for the Jets. Because we're not just trying to be better. We're not just trying to win 9-10 games and make a playoff appearance. That's not what we're doing. We are trying to win now. We are trying to win it all. We are trying to get to the Super Bowl. That's what the New York Jets are doing this year. That's the goal. Now, you may or may not believe it's possible. You may or may not think it's going to happen. That is neither here nor there. The truth is, though, the reality is they are going for it. They are trying to win the Super Bowl. This much is undeniable. Whether you believe they have put the tools in place to do so, or if you believe they have not, there is no argument that the New York Jets are making a run at the Super Bowl. That's the goal. The goal is to win it all this year, not to simply be better. So that brings the question, have they done enough? Have they done enough? Let's say hello to some people, and we'll get to it. Remember, in the link to join is pinned on the YouTube page. You should see it up there. Jets fan, New York Jets fan 4, what's up? Harlan Abraham, it's good to see you, brother. What's up? We got Knobcraft in the house. La Chef. We got Twisted. Man, he is twisted. He is twisted. Given the computer screws with chaos. I love that machine. I don't know what that means. A proper number 2 WR. Well, you know, like I said, there's two ways to do it. You could have two really strong guys that maybe be bottom end number 2s or not the best number 2 receivers, but have two guys, Lazard and Corey Davis. So you have like the best number 3, a great number 3, either one of them, and then a lower end number 1. Or you could have some teams have an elite number 2, and then they have not such a good number 3. They have no depth, right? So you got to look at our room in a different way. Yeah, we don't have – if Garrett Wilson gets hurt, it's a problem. I'm not going to deny that, but we got a pretty deep room when you consider guys like Randall Cobb and Denzel Mims are fighting for like WR5, WR6, when they're fighting for spots on the roster. And then you have guys like, Garrett Wilson, Lazard, Corey Davis, Hardman, who's a speedster. And then who's going to be number 5? And you have competition fighting to be number 5. But I respect your opinion. You'd like a solid number 2, and that's okay. It's okay to want that. It's okay. There are teams with better number 2s. That's undeniable. It's undeniable. But I do feel like our wide receiver room is a deep room, and I do believe we have a true number 1 receiver, maybe the best we've had in a really long time. Because I think we might not understand how high the ceiling really is on Garrett Wilson now that he's going to have a quarterback. My fellow Jeremy, what's up, bro? Best first name in the world. Best first name in the world. You start work tomorrow. Well, let me know congratulations. I'm assuming that means you just graduated either high school or college, or are you just starting a new job? Let us know. Let us know. And best of luck to you, my friend. It's good for you. Raw Power is saying Ludwig van Siegfried, a.k.a. Jeremy, head of chaos. I love it. Twisted, what's going on? I saw you before. You said I switched to Mac. Well, what happened is I no longer work for the company I work for, and that was a work computer, a PC. So that was my computer that I always did shows on. And now I just have to use, me and my wife have a Mac Air and a full-on Mac, and I'm using the Mac Air because I'm the husband and I'm not the boss. So I get the small computer while she gets the mega power, big screen Mac machine. What I need to do is do what my brother did. I got to rearrange the studio so there's a space where I could put my phone and connect it to the Mac Air. So I'm probably going to need some kind of device that's going to create outlets because this thing barely has anything to plug into. And I'm going to have my phone camera pointed at me. This way we'll get a good quality camera pointed at me. And this microphone is for show. Nothing, because I can't connect it to the computer. I'm using the computer microphone. But I need to have this for show. I love all you guys, so I'm not going to keep that a secret. But, it looks more official if I have a microphone, doesn't it? So, hey, we'll get it all straightened out. We'll get there. I should just move into my brother's house in Vancouver, Washington. He has a great green room, a whole studio set up. I should just move in and do all my broadcasting from there. It looks like Vincenzo is in the house. What's going on, Vincenzo? How is Oregon? Oregon, I was mostly in the state of Washington. We would go into Oregon. We'd go into Portland, not to downtown. We'd go into like the suburbs of Portland, into those food pods. And you'll see in my food reviews, because we reviewed a lot of great food. The food trucks there are just spectacular. So it was great. We had a great time. We ate a lot of food. Helped me feel a lot better. Internship tomorrow. Well, that's cool. I'll be starting an internship in about 10 months, 9-10 months, maybe even sooner, maybe 8.5 months, depending on how fast I get through my classes. And I'll start interning and doing my practicum work. So good luck to you, Jeremy. You got a great first name, the best in the world. So Vincenzo, how you doing? I didn't do a show on Wednesday. That's why you haven't heard from me. Got to get you on the Wacky Wednesday show. But for right now, as you can see, it should be, let me know if you don't see it, in YouTube. Pinned on the top should be a link to call into the show. This is a call-in show. If anybody wants to call in, feel free. Know that I'm going to limit it. You can stay as long as you'd like until someone's waiting. Until somebody is waiting, I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and I'm going to throw you out. I'm going to bring the next person on. And if that person leaves and nobody's on, you could come back again if you want. But I want to make sure everybody gets a chance. So no matter who calls in, there's a certain time limit, and we'll go on to somebody else. If somebody's waiting, if somebody pops into the waiting room and I see them, I'll let you know that, and we'll give them a chance to participate in the conversation. So feel free to hit that link. If you don't see the link, please tell me. I need to know that the link is there. I'll be at Barclays Center. Oh, that's cool, too. Barclays Center. That's like, that's how I used to live around there. I mean, it's my old stomping grounds, right? I mean, Barclays Center. I'm not crazy, right? That's Brooklyn. That's where the Nets play, right? I was like there when that thing was being built or whatever. I used to live in Prospect Park. I wasn't far away. Remember that. It's like amazing. I grew up my whole life in Brooklyn. We never had a team, and then I leave, and now suddenly Brooklyn has their own team. And they're the former New York Jets team, which is not very fun. Click the like button. Yes. And we don't say that word MILK thumbs because that's somebody else's intellectual property. What we say here is hit the button. Yeah, if you like food, hit the button. Looks like this. So it's a button right there under your little screen. Those of you who watch on TV probably don't have the option to do that. Let's go Jets. I'm telling you, man. So we had one person, Knobcraft, say that we don't have a number 2 receiver. What else is left for the Jets? What are you worried about? What is it that keeps you scratching your head and doubting and thinking, I don't think we're ready to beat the Bills, or I don't think we're ready to beat the Chiefs. I don't think we can go to the Super Bowl and beat a team like the Eagles. I don't think that in the regular season we're going to be able to beat teams like Kansas City and the Eagles. What is making you think that? What does this team need to do? Do you think, if you were the general manager, what's left for you? You're looking at it. I think that they've cleared up some money. We're not even broke. Another $5 million in cap space was gained by the restructuring of Jordan Whitehead. So there's even more money in the bank. I think up to 20 million, 15 to 20 million, something like that. There's a good amount of money in cap space. They can make a move if they wanted to. Some people could think that WR2 would be Hopkins. But then there's the question of, does he want to come here? Would he come with a 1-year deal? And then most importantly is the question of why they're freeing up that money. Remember, right now, the way things stand, Aaron Rodgers will be owed $100 million next year. So the one thing that Aaron Rodgers probably is not going to agree to in a restructure is not getting his $100 million, right? Because he has no reason to do that. He has his $100 million guaranteed. He has $100 million coming to him. So in some shape or form, we have got to pay Aaron Rodgers $100 million for 2 years of service. It doesn't mean we can't pay him over 6 years. It just means that we have to. So if you're Joe Douglas, you might be thinking, well, if I got $18 million right now, let me chip away at that, because the assumption was he's going to make $1 million this year, 1.3 million. But if we could pay him 15 and bring that number to 85, we chop it down a little bit. And maybe for the next 3 years, we pay him 33 million. And then we're going to get stuck because we're going to pay him 33 million. He might retire after next year. I mean, he's going to get all the money up front guaranteed, but we're going to count 33 million next year against the Bucks. Maybe 40. I don't know. I don't know how much we'll have. Right. And then if we get 18 off the books now, that's 58. He might retire. I don't know, but we're still going to be debt. We're at $42 million. We're going to have to recognize that money. So remember, aside from the draft picks, the price we paid for Aaron Rodgers is we have to kill $100 million. He's got to get $100 million, and he only needs to play for 2 years to get it. Technically, he only needs to play for 1. It's kind of like the deal he had in place. He would have gotten, I mean, that's what you have to recognize. That's what Green Bay would have had to recognize if he retired, $100 million. So there's going to be a restructure, but we have to take, you would think we have to take some money off of that pile. And that could be very possibly the reason why we're freeing up cap space right now, because to take up some of that money. So we might not have money. I think Quan, that's a great question, Snowball. And I think the answer is it depends. and this is what it depends on. It depends on how confident they are that Sherwood could play on the outside. I think he can. Let's not forget that Jamian Sherwood was a safety. So he is a cover guy. That's why he's undersized. So it's interesting because he played great in the box as a linebacker, like a great against the run. And, we definitely very publicly, we know in our system, want linebackers who can cover, right? Zone coverage typically on the running back, tight end, whatever. He has to be able to cover his space. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. We drafted a guy who used to play safety. We drafted a guy who had to cover people, in his previous life in college. So, and he's undersized. What would be the point of getting an undersized guy? That's the reason we convert them. We convert safeties into linebackers is we want fast, quick guys who can cover receivers. So if Sherwood comes in, and there's another thing to keep in mind here. It's not like we play all of our defensive reps with 3 linebackers on the field. We don't. In actuality, we play a 4-2-5 a lot of the time. We only have 2 actual linebackers. Don't forget that we have this guy Clark that we got from Baltimore who played almost a large percentage of snaps at linebacker or in-box safety. And the way they like to use in-box safeties is they have no problem lining up in the role of linebacker. So there's a very good chance that you're going to see that it's a luxury because the plan might really be to use Clark, to use Sherwood, and maybe this kid that they drafted, Kyer. I don't know. I don't think they're going to rely on a 6th round pick or whatever it was for linebacker. It may have been 4th round even. I'm forgetting now. Senile. But for those reasons, I'm going to say Quan is a luxury. Because why? Because Quan is, as we know, he's experienced. He knows the system. He plays well in the system. He's a solid guy. And I would think if nobody's interested, because I know he visited the Steelers, but he didn't sign there. I would think that if Quan is being basically offered a couple of million and that's it, and we're willing to match that couple of million, he's going to stay with us as opposed to join the Steelers. Another argument might be, well, then why don't we have him already? Well, it might be that his agent and he are being stubborn, and they might say, we have a better chance of waiting till camp and hoping a team sustains an injury. There's injuries in camp, 32 teams, and that someone gets desperate and gives them a little bit better of a deal. But I would consider it a luxury because I don't think we have to have Quan. I'm not dying anymore screaming we got to have Quan, but it's a luxury because at the worst case scenario, it's depth, right? Worst case scenario. But I think it's the reason at least Joe Douglas is considering it a luxury is because he didn't go after him. Or at least he wouldn't pay the money that Quan wanted. So you want Quan back. They were making all this cap space for a reason. Yeah, but like I was just saying, Ice Force, and I'm not claiming to know this, but there's a lot of people out there, and it makes sense that are saying they're freeing up the cap space again to take a chunk out of Aaron Rodgers' money. That we, to restructure his deal and give, get rid of a chunk of the money now. So but I don't know that. Yeah, and they might be, again, if they freed up that money for Quan, why didn't they sign him? Why aren't they just doing it? For all we know, they're in a negotiation and they're fighting over $500,000. Maybe for right now, for all I know, we're offering him 3.5 and he wants 4. Who knows? Jeremy, how did 2 Brooklyn guys wind up 3,000 miles away? You're talking about you're obviously referring to me and my brother. And I guess I could tell that story. Let me go back to this. I just wanted to show real quick. Oh, I saw him. There he is. He's actually here somewhere. You've got my logo on your awesome show. Thanks for the promotion. You were supposed to change that logo, my friend. But yes, that logo in the top right corner is my brother's logo, the Climate Champions, for his podcast. Anyway, Jeremy, how did 2 Brooklyn guys end up 3,000 miles away? Well, I think I'm more like 2,500, but let's not get technical. I know it started with Lee. He went to college in Pittsburgh, Carnegie Mellon, in the 80s and took computer science. It's a great thing to have majored in back then. I mean, it's great today, but imagine back then. And a bunch of Silicon Valley companies, this is what they used to do back then. They actually, because they had to fly so many people out from different schools like Carnegie Mellon, MIT, they would chip in. They would chip in. And they would fly people out, put them up in a hotel, and they would do a round of interviews. It was very civil. Everybody did their sales pitch, but when it came to the business side of it, they said it doesn't make sense for us all to fly a guy in separately and have him fly back 5 times. They split the bill, flew in people from these schools because there was a big need for engineers, computer science, coders, and they interviewed them. Long story short, my brother ended up in a company in Silicon Valley. And as a kid, I would come out and visit him. And it would be like January or February, and I would come out, and it was 70 degrees every day. And I said, and it cooled off at night, and there was no humidity. And I said, the weather's great here. And there was a place called By the Bucket that would sell you, Buck the Bucket. You can buy, you know what they put in that bucket? Ravioli. I mean, how do you not want to live in a place that sells buckets of ravioli? Never mind that the ravioli was as like canned Chef Boyardee. Never mind. Came in a bucket. So, I kind of said, I want to move to Silicon Valley. I moved to Silicon Valley. I lived really close to my brother. Now we're in the same area. And what did my brother do? I actually moved to San Francisco, found a place in the city, wanted to have some fun. It's a happening place. So I said, I miss being in the city. And my brother's living in the Bay Area. And he decides that he's going to go to San Diego. And he tells me, you should move to San Diego. I told him, I just moved here from New York. 3 years later, you left to San Diego. Now I'm going to go to San Diego. And it's lucky I didn't. Because what did he do? What would have happened if I moved to San Diego? My brother decides to move to freaking Vancouver, Washington. You know what I'm saying? So the lesson was, you don't move to a place to follow your brother. Because your brother might leave. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I ended up in the Bay Area. I ended up back in Brooklyn. I lived in D.C. for a while. I lived in North Carolina. I lived everywhere. I had jobs that allowed me to live in different places and sales. So I wanted to live near my parents and my middle brother. So I loved North Carolina. I enjoyed that. Had to come back to the Bay Area. I did that. Met my wife and flew out to D.C. to live with her. Did that. Moved back up to New York. Lived in Brooklyn, then in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Did that. We got tired of winter. We came to Sacramento. So I've kind of been back and forth a bunch of times. And that's how that happened. And it stinks for the Jets part of it, right? It sucks being so far away and everything. Do you think Rodgers will retire if we win the Super Bowl this year? Very possible. Very possible, Snowball. It's very possible. I thought that a few times. I said, well, I think if he doesn't win, he's going to give himself at least 2 chances. If he does win, he might retire. He also might decide, I love this team. I love this town. I'm a legend here. These fans are great. I had the time of my life. We won a Super Bowl. I love these guys. They're my brothers. Lazard will be here still. And now I've made friends with this other emerging star, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Sauce on the other side. And they're giving me a defense. And I have a chance. How cool would it be to win back-to-back Super Bowls? That's what he might think. Let me come back and try again. Then I'll really be a legend. Because no one's done that. People have left their team and won a Super Bowl. But imagine leaving your team and then winning 2 Super Bowls. And what would be crazy about that is then I'll have 2 Jet Super Bowls and 1 Green Bay Super Bowl. Now I'm getting ahead of myself because we haven't won anything yet. We haven't even made the playoffs. But you asked me the question. I'm worried he'd retire if we won the Super Bowl. I want to win the Super Bowl. I don't care. I'll take 5 years of losing. I mean, I'm not going to feel that way if we win the Super Bowl next season at this time. I'm not going to say that. But the reality is now, Guy comes into my room right now with fire and horns and everything and a tail, and the zizabub, and says, "I'll make you a deal. 5 losing years after the season, but you get a Super Bowl." I take that deal, baby. I take that deal in a second. So it is what it is. Hopefully he'll stay if we win. Hopefully he'll stay. Knobcraft, going to need this system picks to start putting in work. System picks to start putting in work. Yeah, well, hey, look, I think we got a lot of good guys. I really do. A lot of depth. I'm feeling really good about the whole thing. Klecko's in the house. What's up, man? Congratulations on your nomination to the Hall of Fame. Pretty excited about it. Someone's answering Snowball. Q and D. I'm surprised that nobody's calling in. It's a call-in show. Look at the top of the chat. There's a link. You can call in. I don't know why Jets fan New York 4 didn't call in. He loves to call in. Maybe he's at work or something. What do you think? Where do you think Hopkins is going? Well, I mean, I know the two teams that were most interested in Hopkins was Kansas City and Buffalo. Not that I'm not terrified of Kansas City having a guy like Hopkins on their team, because the last thing we need is them getting better. But I guess I would take it over Buffalo because we want the division. First, you got to win the division, right? So I'd rather not see Buffalo get him. But, if he goes to Buffalo, the one thing I say that's that can make it tolerable and digestible isn't he going to just be taking snaps away from Boyd, who I think is a pretty good wide receiver too, right? I mean, yeah, they could line him up 3 on the field sometimes, but I mean, for the most part, though, he's just taking targets away from some other guys once you have your number 1 and 2 receivers, unless there are people out there that feel he's a big upgrade over Boyd or whatever that guy's name is. So Rodgers is doing all the right things. Not worried about the ex-Packers here. Yeah, hey, I'm not worried about it at all, man. He's done everything right since he's come into the building, So, a lot of his issues with Green Bay was they picked Jordan Love. It's not just that they picked Jordan Love. They didn't tell him. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with the team. He was there at the time for 15 years already, right? He is the team. He's the face of the organization. And you're going to pick up a quarterback, his replacement, because you're worried that he's running out of gas. You're not going to have a meeting with him and discuss it? Hell yeah, he was pissed with Green Bay. But he seems to respect the hell out of Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. And as long as he has respect for them and is getting along with them, I think this is the Aaron Rodgers we're going to see. But we can't screw him over. Can't screw him over. We've got to have integrity. Ravioli. Oh, I'm behind. I didn't realize I was so far behind. Ant, what's going on, brother? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Daniel is a Miami Dolphin fan, if he hasn't answered that yet, and that's totally cool. Nobody has come to the Jets and won. And won. I know. Can you imagine winning 2? He's a legend if he wins 1. No, that's a question that we were actually talking about the other day. I don't know if I was talking about it with Lee or someone else, but if he won a Super Bowl with us and retired, I think the expectation is he retires as a Packer. If he won 2 Super Bowls with us, then you start to think. There might be a chance. And only because of the way he left the Packers and what's his real feelings about it and how much is he going to – maybe he loves New York so much he's going to live here 5 months out of the year, in the area for the rest of his life. Maybe it's – maybe he wants to identify – Now we're talking about him winning 3 Super Bowls. Okay, so I don't blame – right now Daniel, the Miami fan, is probably thinking, man, these guys are smoking crack. But it's just a question. Nobody's saying we're going to win 3. But let's just say anything's possible. The Dolphins could win 3 Super Bowls in the next few years. So, the Bills can, Kansas City can, the Eagles can. I mean, so let's, so we're not being crazy. We're just saying what if scenario. What if Rodgers came? What if the defense slotted up to the top two? What if it was San Francisco Jets or Jets San Francisco, and we became what the Niners were when Saleh was there, and we're this freaking crazy force on defense, and we got a Rodgers that might not be his prime Rodgers, but we got a very competent, experienced quarterback, stars, young players, superstar young players, and what if somehow we just do the impossible and win 3 Super Bowls? You got to think there's a chance that Rodgers, by the time all that happened, would say, I'm going in as a Jet. I mean, look, has any team ever won 3 in a row? I mean, so, but it's just a fun hypothetical question, right? Yeah. Top 5 defense. It's true. Top 5 defense. I think I see a guy named Salty. John Nolte, Salty Nolte. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. It's been a while. Feels like a long time. So it's good to see you here. Hennessy. What's going on? They hate us because they ain't us. Well, they hate us the same reason we hate them, right? Conference rivals. I mean, we're always good. I mean, it's funny because it's also it is like you do have more hate for teams that are winning and doing better. Because let's face it, in the last 10 years, if there's one thing the Miami fans, the Jet fans, and the Bill fans have had a common bond in, it's their hatred of the Patriots. But now that Tom Brady's gone, and it feels and appears that the Patriot era is ending and over. Now that we're all fighting to be the next one, who's the next one out of our division is going to win a Super Bowl? We're getting that old rivalry back, like the hatred's starting to come back because we're not being diverted to the Patriots anymore. But I think the team that wins the division, like out of the 3 teams, is going to be the most hated because if we win, Miami and Buffalo are going to hate us. We're the new team to hate. If Buffalo wins, then Miami and the Jets are going to hate Buffalo a little bit more than we hate each other. Because that's just the way it is. Unless, sometimes somebody will hold grudges. Some Miami fan once made me really mad and laughed in my face. So now I hate Miami, So, there are people like that. To me, it's going to take a long time for the hatred of New England to wear off, obviously. I don't see how anybody can argue that. But I could see if we go into the final game of the season playing for the division, or if we go into the playoffs and play the Dolphins or the Bills and they beat us, they might quickly become the new team that we hate. Remember, guys, it doesn't matter if we have a better personnel, if we do. It doesn't matter if we have the better team, if we do. What matters is, are we actually going to win? Are we actually going to get the win when it matters most? Because you can have a better team. Look, we've seen teams that are better losing. It's called an upset. It happens all the time. Some people could say that means you weren't as good as we thought. No, upsets happen. Sometimes the better team loses. Sometimes, because a better team, let's say we say this team would beat this other team 7 out of 10 times. They're the better team. But sometimes, 3 times in this case, the worst team, the team that's not as good, wins. So it's more than just being the best. Like being better, sometimes it's about execution. So what we have to hope is, even if we're not better than Kansas City, it doesn't mean we can't beat them. It doesn't mean in the playoffs, Sauce Gardner doesn't step in front of one and take it back for 6, and that's the difference in the game. It doesn't mean on that particular day the ball bounces our way. So we have to remember that. It goes with, it's for us and against us. It's like it's a good and bad double-sided sword, right? I mean, however you say it. It could work to our advantage. We could be the team with a little less talent and still win, or we could be the better team and lose. And I got to tell you, man, being the better team and losing sucks, because I truly believe That second AFC championship game with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez, when we lost to the Steelers, we were the better team. We probably, if we played them 10 times, could have beaten them 7 times. That's how I feel. I feel that we got psyched out. We blew it all. All of our emotion, beating New England. That was like our Super Bowl, as Green Bean likes to say, and he's right. And we just didn't get it going. We woke up too late in that game. But I think, I think personnel wise, I think we were the better team and we lost, and it sucks. And it's not the only time we've lost to Pittsburgh when we were the better team. In 2004 in the playoffs, we beat them. We were supposed to go on to the AFC Championship game and play New England, and we never got the chance because of a missed field goal from a guy we spent a freaking second-round pick on. So there you go. So, and in the end of the day, let's hope we freaking win. What's going on there? Weed. Is that what that says? Hold on. Weed. I just got new glasses. Oh, you're saying hello to Weed the People. Weed the People. You're going to love this. The reason why I highlighted that. You're going to love this, Weed the People. On the way back from Washington, we stopped in the town of Weed. We stopped in the town of Weed. It turns out I lived 3 hours and 12 minutes from a town called Weed, California. And it wasn't named because they grow marijuana there. The town of Weed, California got its name from some rich guy named Weed that lived in San Francisco and bought up a bunch of land. Now, from the town of Weed, you could see Mount Shasta, which is pretty breathtaking because it's June, right? It's a nice warm day and you're looking at a snow-covered mountain. Like the whole top 70% of it is just snow. It's beautiful. It's a warm day and you're just looking at snow. Now, we stopped at the ale house there. And I will tell you, if anybody here ever ends up in California and sees the town of Weed, do not go there expecting good food. Partly my fault. I sit down, and I hadn't really had pizza the entire week when I was visiting my brother. Because the night they had pizza, I ate cheesesteak. And if anybody knows me, I typically don't go 7 days without pizza. So I ordered the pizza in this brew house. And I said the worst it could be is floppy, crappy California pizza, but it's still pizza. So I didn't get it plain. I got it with toppings because that sometimes makes it bearable, right? At least there's sausage and mushrooms and whatever. So I get this pizza. I bite into it and start eating it, and I realize the sauce on the pizza. First of all, the pizza was horrible, right? I mean, they served this thing. It was clearly a frozen pizza heated up. They did not make fresh pizza. This was something that was frozen and put in the oven. If that's not bad enough, first of all, it was like $20 and it was this big. I could have eaten two of them. Okay. I wouldn't have wanted to. I'll tell you why. Because when I tasted it, instead of sauce, like red sauce, it was barbecue sauce. It was cheddar cheese and some other cheese with, you could tell it was frozen pizza because it was like the diced up toppings, like square little pieces of pepperoni and sausage. And underneath this cheese was a thick layer of barbecue sauce. And I said, this is not even pizza. But I was hungry. I hadn't eaten. We were 6 hours into the trip, and I ate it. I did. I ate it. And then I figured, and we, the people, will understand this. The reason they stay in business and the reason people will eat this horrendous pizza. My wife got the salad, by the way, horrible. She got nacho chips with salsa, and the salsa was out of a jar thing, disgusting. The reason they stay in business is because, well, they sell beer. That doesn't hurt. But because it's the town of Weed, and I'm sure that a lot of people are smoking weed. At least that's my theory. It's the only explanation. Either that or that 80% of the town has never been 5 miles away from weed, and that's really the only choice they got. So, it's either that or McDonald's. Chaos. Oh, Jets Lounge chaos. Yeah, that's right. Jets Lounge, baby. Anybody here from the Jets Lounge, man? Any of you Jets Loungers in the house? I still can't believe that nobody has tried to sign on to the show. It is a call-in show. What is the matter with you? The link is on top, and we have no call-ins. People complain to me all the time. How come you never do call-ins? Well, the link is right there. It's pinned. It's on the top. You want to call into the show and say hello? You could do it. You can keep your camera off if you want. It's pretty epic. What? I need to go there. So, hey, we didn't get to do it. It was stupid. We should have went into a souvenir shop or something and bought things with the name of the town on it. It would have been cool. But, yeah, you'd like it. But I think we the people. I think if you came to California, I think even though that I know you think the name of the town is cool, Weed, California, you probably want to go to Humboldt County. I think you'd have more fun there. I just get a feeling that you would. Let's see. I think I'm about 4 hours from Humboldt, too. 3 or 4 hours. Pizza is like... there's so many different versions of that. My friend actually had it in his pizzeria. His father actually hung it up. Pizza is like sex. Even when it's not that good, still great. But barbecue sauce, dude, was not working for me. Sounds like the Cravat brothers should buy a moving truck. So we can get out of here. What's up? We got Dom C in the house. What's up, Chaos? Glad you're home and relaxed from vacation. I am feeling a bit more relaxed. It was a nice vacation. We ate very well. We had a good time. We sat in a hot tub. We fixed up my brother's hot tub. We sat in the hot tub looking at a beautiful view with Mount Hood in the background. And I had time to relax and think about the Jets. I thought about the Jets. And I thought to myself, if the stars aligned and everything came together, why not us? You know what I mean, Tom C? If the stars align. I know, and believe me, guys, I know that typically the offseason has been our Super Bowl, right? And that as soon as the season starts, everything goes wrong. But I'm going to think that it's different this time. I have to. Otherwise, there's no point in being a fan. There's no point in being a fan if there's no part of you that believes that there could be a year where suddenly it doesn't go wrong. Where suddenly we're not the unlucky team. Right? So, I see you there. I'll get you on in a second. So, I was sitting there in the hot tub and I'm thinking, if our defense is top 5, I think it could be top 2. Like, I'm imagining, what if we just terrorize the quarterback? What if Quinnen is just a beast and he gets 10-plus sacks again, and this kid McDonald is an absolute beast and he's like hurling over people like he does trucks? And what if Huff is doing his thing and Carl Lawson, who's had a year after the Achilles now? What if we're just going nuts? What if everything that, by the way, I want to say this was announced and we called it, we predicted it, I've talked about it forever. It's been confirmed. We're going to see more of JFM, more of Michael Clemens next to Quinnen on the inside, which I've screamed about. I like JFM on the outside. He's great containing the edge. He still better be there when JJ's not there, because you got to always be, you got to have edge guys who could seal the edge. There's no question about that. But moving him on the inside just for a few snaps is not a bad idea. And giving Clemens the time on the inside is brilliant. He's got the frame for it now. He's got the weight for it now. It's great. That's why we didn't draft anyone. That's why we shouldn't panic, and we should trust in JD. So anyway, I'm sitting in there in a hot tub. I think about that. I think about a crazy defensive line, dominant secondary with amazing coverage guys, tons of sacks, interceptions. I'm thinking a Rodgers type offense that puts up over 30 points every week. I'm thinking about Breece Hall getting healthy and running all over the place. And I'm thinking if it all comes together for us, why not us? Anyway, I'd like to welcome onto the show for the first time on my show. I've seen him on other shows come in. We the people.
What's up, Jeremy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can see you through all that smoke. Okay, there you are.
It's a little bit. I forgot to open my window. Trying to do a clam bake,
Where do you live in? Where are you right now? What state?
New Jersey, Keensburg.
Oh, okay. Go. Oh, they got dispensaries there now, right? It's all
Yeah, they
legal and
do.
everything.
Yeah, they do. It's funny. My mom actually had her medical license before they legalized it, so I was getting the hookup already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that must have been a great day, a great celebration for you.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. There was a line outside the dispensary around the block. There was like probably 300 people there.
I love
They were
it.
camping out overnight. It was ridiculous.
That is unreal. That is unreal. That is unreal. That is so funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I spent about 2 hours in line. It was great.
That's very, very cool. I mean, it's so funny because in California for such a long time, there were literally online doctors. All you had to do was say, "I'm stressed out," and
Oh yeah,
they'd write your prescription.
I lived in San Diego for like a year. I know how it was.
Yeah.
They would show up to your house with a DeWalt toolbox full of shit. It was wonderful. It was magical.
Yeah, I see a lot of people delivering it now. You could always tell by the types of bags they're carrying.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Like you could see these delivery guys delivering it to people's houses.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, what do we got there? Oh, German.
Oh, that's Luke Cage Skywalker Scobie.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Luke Cage. I know that guy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Ever since they started getting those Marvel superhero shows on TV, I learned who everybody was.
Yeah, that's why I closed the window so he could get a little bake going on too.
Oh yeah, the secondhand smoke will get them a little bit, help relax them.
Oh, he'll pass out in a little bit. You'll see. Dude, this year we're gonna score 200 points on the Patriots. It's gonna happen.
So
Bill
100
Belichick
per game, 100 per game.
Yeah, combine.
Okay.
We're gonna combine them both like that. Yeah, Bill Belichick is gonna stub his toe for the rest of his life 3 times a day.
If you had to pick one game that you're the most worried about, that we have the small like that with the best chance to lose, which game, which team?
It would be a New England one because that where the Jets did. They started our downfall last year. They just fuck Bill Belichick is just a piece of shit.
Yeah. We have to get to a point where the talent just overrides it. Like
I see Will McDonald getting 3 sacks in that game though.
Yeah, I think if we beat them the first game that we play them the first time, then it's like all then it changes the whole story.
Takes the monkey off your back. Just beat them the first time, you're good.
Right. And then they could just have that confidence, and because we have no excuse to lose to them with the roster we have.
We really shouldn't. We shouldn't have lost to them last year with the roster we had.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's really we would have won that game. I honestly believe without question we win that game if they take Zach out after the half and they don't wait so long.
Yeah, they should have taken him out. The first game we should have won if it wasn't for that stupid roughing the passer call.
Ugh,
that was a downfall of the rest of our season.
But now looking back at it, I'm kind of glad that all that shit happened because it's like hopefully they learn from it. Now we put that stuff behind us.
And now we got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So now, we put that stuff behind us. Now we have Aaron. Now we're making the real run. And some of our younger guys have now learned the lessons. It's like, hopefully that, JFM is not going to get any late hits anymore. Hopefully we can address some of those issues,
That was still a bullshit call, though.
Yeah.
If that was Zach, they would have never called it.
Yeah, it's going to take a while before the refs to get over the whole favoring New England thing, I think.
I will never, ever, ever not hate New England. Forever.
Yeah.
On my tombstone, it's going to say, fuck New England. I already have it written down in my will.
Mm-hmm. So I see you. I have somebody else waiting. That's okay. We'll give you a few more minutes, but I just want to let my buddy know I see him. So, yeah. Hey, so I agree with you. Like, one of the things I'm looking forward to most, like with this change and us winning and like not just going to the playoffs and being competitive, but just beating New England is going to feel so good. And like, I believe with all my bones that it's going to happen, that we're not going to get swept by them this year. Like there's very little part of me that's worried about it. Even I'm so confident. I was confident we were going to beat them last year. And
I blame my friend for that.
Your friend jinxed it.
Yeah, well, we were walking in the stadium, and there's this little tiny kid with his grandpa, my friend, with a Brady jersey on, and my friend kept getting in his face, talking shit to him. I was like, don't do that, man. Next thing you know, we lose. He's not allowed to go to Jet games anymore, I told him.
I mean, it's kind of a different feeling when we go against, like with Miami and Buffalo, we already beat them. You know, we already split with them, so we already know last year without Aaron Rodgers, you know, that we're completely competitive, you know, with those
Yeah.
teams. And, you know, so it's like kind of different. It's like, not that we don't respect them and those aren't going to all be big games, but it's like psychologically, we know we've already cleared that hurdle. Like we know, you know, we beat the Dolphins last year. We beat the Bills last year. That monkey's off our back. Those monkeys are off our back. New England is the one that's left. I think Philadelphia is a monkey on our back. We've never beaten them. So
It's gonna be a tough one.
that's one I would love to end that streak and kind of like just end that. Even though we play them once every few years, it would be nice just to end it and not have a team that we've never beat.
That's gonna be a tough one to win, but I have faith. I have faith in Rodgers. We trust.
Yeah. I think it really is. It just comes down to Rodgers. It's just like at the end of the day, that's my saving thought. It's like Jets fan, years of trauma. And then I'm like, yeah, but it's freaking Aaron Rodgers. You know?
I mean, even I'm glad LaFleur's out and we got Hackett, because even with the bad quarterback play, Mike White wasn't bad. The play calling was really bad.
Yeah,
it was really bad with the play calls. For some reason, he just lost it towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that Mike LaFleur's biggest weakness, and I think it's fixable. So I think he ended up in a great place, to be honest, with the Rams under that coach. I do think his biggest flaw was situational coaching.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had good plays in the playbook. There were some plays he did really well. There was a good overall, the philosophy, the scheme, it all comes from Shanahan. It's all good. It's just that he was a horrible situational play caller.
It was terrible in the red zone.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Hackett. Hackett was really good in the red zone. Those are the plays he called for the Packers, was the red zone plays. So I'm happy about that.
I'm pretty stoked about it.
Let's see.
Hey man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Call in again, all right? Anytime you want.
Absolutely.
All right, my brother.
Have a good night.
Good night. And now, everybody, let's hear it. Give a little applause. Show some fire in the chat for Weed the People for coming on. I know you got to love him. Jets fan is one of us. And now we'll bring in somebody else who's one of us. My man Vincenzo. What's going on? Oh, he's got the 16.
What's going on, Jeremy? How's
you going
everything?
old school on me. I'm good. What's up?
Vinny and the Jets, man. That was my favorite team. 98. Should have been our Super Bowl. Could have been our Super Bowl, but you know how it is. We're Jets fans. We're not entitled to anything nice.
Every time I think 16, I remember what's his face? Crabette calling Vinny and convincing him to come back.
Yep. Came off the couch and beat a Buccaneers team.
Yep.
So my apologies not being able to call in on Wednesday, dude. I was still in recovery from Memorial Day. It's the only holiday my wife and I host here at my place. I had 30 people here, so finally everything is back in order.
No, I had to cancel Wednesday's show. That's why I said I didn't get to see you. Because I had to cancel the show. I didn't have to. I was just basically, to be honest, I just forgot. We were having a great time with the family, and I said, I'm just. I sent Adam a late text saying, I'm sorry, man. I forgot about the show. I'm having a good time with my family. It's dead. It's kind of like dead the off season. I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of a break.
No. Good for you, dude. And you deserve it. Like, I mean, I have a very small Jets channel. I mean, I just post something on the community, that billboard, and it's just like, I'm away right now. Like, I will be back right at the start of the preseason, because I can't go year round. There's work that goes into this that people don't know about. I take notes. I write down statistics. I copy down quotes. It's a lot of shit.
Yeah. Following every move, having to get excited and do a video about the Jets saving $5 million in cap space because they restructured Whitehead. These were things I didn't think about until I had a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden that's freaking news.
And not only that, when they lose, like, I'm the type of Jets fan, I don't want to even talk about the Jets until Wednesday. But when you agree to do something like this, it's like, no, now I got to go on here and I got to talk about why you're pissed off and how we're going to feel better about it next week.
There is nothing harder. The biggest challenge in the last 3 years I've had as a Jet fan is I am on with Green Bean doing a live reaction show on his channel with sometimes 300 plus people with us. And Green Bean is telling me one thing before the game. He gives me notes after the game. He's telling me in the private chat during the game. You got to stay positive, dude. You got to stay positive. People don't want to be watching us if you're going to start, if you're going to put your head in a toilet bowl.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because with mine, my highest viewed videos are the ones when I go off on rants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's his channel. So I said, okay. And I think it's partly because he can't hear it. He doesn't want to hear it. It just gets to him. Sometimes even though you're pissed, you don't want to hear somebody else complaining about them, So I just freaking said, okay, and I have to suck it up. And I found a way. And I just don't bitch and I don't complain. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's like, I love listening. I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a channel, the New York Jokes.
Yes.
And those, they don't show themselves. They just show the TV.
Yes.
And that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I feel like I'm home when I'm listening to that chat. Like I'm listening to those guys. I feel like I'm at my friend's house. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So reason I came on is I got to touch base on it's something that just irked me this week. And Jake Asman touched base on it recently. And I just have to comment on it. Two individuals in the media, one I can't think of his name, but one that we all know, Tiki Barber, with some of just the mouth diarrhea that he has been spewing against not just the Jets as a whole, but specifically Aaron Rodgers. He just puts this clickbait out there to just infuriate us. So it's like, oh, well, can Aaron really handle the New York media? Oh, he tweaked his calf. What's going to happen when the Jets lose week 1? It's going to send the fan base into a frenzy. Blah, 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 blah. Like, he has said nothing positive. He can't stand the fact that all the attention in the city right now is for this team in green. And then I can't think of the guy's name. It was on Twitter, but one of these pundits came out there and said, expect Daniel Jones this year to be a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Are you out of your flippin' mind? Like, I cannot wait for the ass beating that we are going to deliver week 8 against the Smurfs. I hope it's just an absolute annihilation. And I hope that our fan base comes out in drives and takes over the stadium. I know it's a Giants home game, but Jets fans that are watching this, you need to get to that. I'm going to be there. I will be there, and I'm going to have all my flags ready. And I want to just take that whole stadium over and show them who's going to be the best team in the city, at least for this year. And that's not a shot at the Giants franchise. Historically, yes, the Giants have had a better team than we have. They have 4 Super Bowls. They've had more Hall of Fame players. They've been around a lot longer than we have. But I'll take it a step on a more personal level. One of my coworkers told me recently, and this is a Giants fan, mind you, he goes, Vin, you guys could legitimately go 17-0 this year and win the whole thing. And guess what? We'll be ready to remind you 4 Super Bowls to 2. This is why I cannot respect the New York Giants fan base. I hate them. I hate them. I want their blood week 8. Believe me.
Look, they can say whatever they want. It's like if we beat them, they'll go right to the 4 Super Bowls. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They're going there because what they can't say is, we beat you again, because the truth will be you didn't. And what I say is, yeah, you got your 4 rings. I got you. But who's better right now?
Right.
Who's the better team right now?
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about yesteryear. That's like saying last year we got embarrassed at home by the Detroit Lions. So should I go tell a Lions fan, haha, but we have a Super Bowl trophy from 50 years ago? You don't. It's the same concept. Who cares?
Right. What do you say?
They're not my team. And for the record, I'm a Jets and Yankees fan based in the heart of New England. I have no ties to New York City. So I am not a Mets fan. I'm sorry. When the Yanks play the Mets, I hope they beat that ass every time, bro. I'm sorry.
That's amazing, though, that you're in the heart of New England, and that's it's just incredible.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. You could have had like 7 Super Bowl, 6 Super Bowls or whatever.
Dude, when I was gonna be a dad for the first time 6 years ago, all my friends and family said, for the love of God, don't make the kid a Jets fan or whatnot. Sure enough, I had the onesie, the first jersey ready, and I captioned it with passing a curse. I was like, it's too late. I've already injected the poison.
Unbelievable. Well, look, it's I mean, I forgot that you're up there. It's funny because there's so many similarities and everything. I like when I went out to Boston, I went to a friend's house and he lived somewhere in one of the suburbs. And the Italian restaurants in the suburbs of Boston are basically the same as the Italian restaurants I go up with in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same menus. Like you come to California out here, it's literally like gorgonzola cheese pasta dishes. You know what I mean? And it's like when you get chicken dishes, it's freaking thick chicken that they don't know to pound down.
Ugh.
So it's like when you go to like the outskirts of Boston, it's like it feels like Brooklyn. You get chicken cutlet parm, veal cutlet parm. They know how to pound it down. It's the same menu. It's baked ziti. It's the right food at least.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you got that.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Even though I live in New England, I'm right on the Connecticut shoreline. I'm 1 hour from New York City. In fact, I
Okay.
actually was recently in the city. I took my daughter for the very first time, and I always represent when I'm wherever I go, right? And I can't tell you, everywhere I went, I was like stopped at Starbucks, get a coffee, walk through Bryant Park. There was always somebody that would yell towards me, "Rodgers!" Like they're ready. They're ready for it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So no, I'm looking forward to week 8. That's even like, and I don't, I mean, any team could lose on any week. So I'm, every week I get pumped up and I get the nerves are going and everything. And let's not choke and let's not show up unprepared. But like when I look at the schedule overall right now, the Giants don't faze me at all. That's not like the least of the teams that scare me. Washington and the Giants don't scare me.
Nope.
Dallas, it's not that I don't think we could beat Dallas, but I know it's going to be a game. Like because we're
Definitely.
in Dallas, I know it's going to be it's going to be a game. But it's the Eagles out of that division. That's the team where it's like that's going to be, if we win that game, it's going to be hard fought and it's going to be a lot of stress and it's going to come down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, and historically, they've always owned our number. I mean, as far as Washington, they're a team in transition. I'm not concerned. And with the Giants, I just don't see Daniel Jones as like a championship caliber quarterback. I mean, the analysis I always use with anyone, because it's such a quarterback driven league. Can you close your eyes and see your starting quarterback holding the Lombardi trophy? Can you see it with Daniel Jones? I don't see it. I don't. And he had them by the balls when it was time to pay him, because it was just like, well, what are you going to do? I want a playoff game, or the quarterback market is very thin, or you go back into the NFL draft, which is a crapshoot. It's a 50-50 shot right there, pretty much. So, I mean, they had no choice but to pay him.
Yeah, and Saquon Barkley is really the key for that game, because I will happily, with Sanders and Reed, with Sauce Gardner and Reed, I will happily challenge the Giants to beat us with Daniel Jones and his receiving cores and his weapons, and just focus on controlling Barkley and containing him and saying, okay, what do you got? Like to me, it's a good matchup for us. Stack the box, challenge Jones to beat you. We got the secondary to cover the receivers. We got the 4 on the line that can get there. As long as we focus and make sure that we got Barkley contained, I just don't see us losing that game.
No, I see Saleh loading the box and telling Daniel Jones, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do it through the air. And I don't see it happening. I'm not afraid of their offense. I'm just not. I'm more concerned with Dallas. I'm tremendously concerned with Kansas City. But the Giants, come on, let's be real here. Not with our defense. No way. I think we got the best corner duo in the National Football League, bar none.
Yeah. I would not trade them for any other tandem. And I'm not saying that other teams don't have an argument, but the point is, our tandem is not only arguably up there with any tandem that anybody can mention, but the reality is our tandem contains a guy named Sauce Gardner, and he is without question in my mind the best cornerback in the NFL. And I say that because he did what he did as a rookie. And anybody who knows or has ever watched football knows, especially at cornerback, that you get substantially better with experience. I just can't imagine. Can you imagine Sauce Gardner now has a year under his belt and he's going to grow and get better? It's absolutely insane when you think about that.
Darrelle Revis himself even said he sees them. He's going to already be a bigger superstar than he ever was. And for those of us that are older fans, remember when Revis came out his rookie year, he got picked on big time that rookie year, especially by Randy Moss. I'll never forget. It took him his second year. He made that leap. Sauce came in there. He went all pro as a rookie. Gentlemen, that never happens,
Yeah.
especially at the cornerback position.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually, and people try to pick on him. The best, one of my favorite press conferences of the season is when Saleh said, he's so close, meaning, and I think what he means is that he's going to start making big plays like interceptions and things like that. When he said he's so close, and then he smiled and kind of made a comment. He said, because they said something about them trying to pick on him and test him, and he says, "Please test him." Like he's asking for a coach to say that, for a coach to say, "Please test him."
No, but I like that sort of thing. I like that sort of thing. It reminds me of Rex because, it shows that you got that confidence, that moxie. They say, listen, I got the players that are going to back, what I'm saying here. We're going to do this. That puts fear into your opponents. It goes a lot further than you think. And some people will say, oh, well, it's bulletin board material. Okay, well, if you don't like something, stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Belichick is notorious for if he wants to put his foot on the gas and not take it off, he's not going to do it. I mean, look at how many times has he thoroughly embarrassed us by 4, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns or what. I hope we get that 50 burger on him this year and send him into retirement. Yeah. I would love that more than anything.
There was only 2 plays the entire season, in my opinion, last year where Sauce Gardner looked bad, where he was made to look bad. One was the pass interference in the end zone. The other was the when he misread the play and Diggs burned him for like a 30-yard pass play. And what was funny, though, you're talking about a rookie cornerback, and you got other NFL fans all over Twitter showing the highlight of that play saying, see, he's not that good. When you have to, 10 games into a season, search for a play, for one play, for a cornerback, for a freaking cornerback getting beat by a receiver, and that receiver is Stephon Diggs. And that's your evidence that he's not as good as people think. That's how you know he's the best. The fact that one play, that's their argument. That one play.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I couldn't have said it better. His play speaks for his. He doesn't need to say anything. He does all his talking on the field. I like that sort of thing.
You know how many highlights there are of Ramsey getting beat?
Plenty.
There are plenty of like from the Rams last year. There's plenty of plays where he got beat, and he's still really good. I'm not even putting him down.
But there's a reason why he's been shipped from this team to that team to the third. Okay.
But the thing is, even him being really good, and what I'm saying is, even like Patrick Surtain, like any good cornerback, even really good cornerbacks who make the Pro Bowl, they still get beat on plays. Like, I mean, like it's not like it's like. People are thinking that the only way to be good is you never get beat. It's not true.
No.
There's only 3 guys that have ever gotten to that level, and their names are Deion Sanders, Darrelle Revis, and now Sauce Gardner. Those are the only 3 names I could think about where it's literally less than a handful of times that you'll ever see them getting beat.
Charles Woodson's one. How about him?
Yeah. So he's in that top 5.
Can't forget him.
Right. Right. He's in that top 5. But how many people... Because I'm saying, like, there's a lot of guys in the league, they're good corners. Like, I respect them. They're guys that we'd want on our team. But they get beat. Like, even DJ Reed got beat sometimes. And it's fine. Right, it's fine. The expectation as a cornerback is that you're never going to give up a pass. But Sauce Gardner is kind of setting up that expectation because he's so freaking good.
I never saw this coming from a mile away. And the experts will tell you, if they redid that draft from top to bottom, 1 to 32, he's the first overall pick. Hands down. And it's not even close.
Yeah. He's, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, he's the best football player that came out of, that draft.
Yeah, and I was watching that draft from the hospital when my second was born, and we were all expecting the pass rusher, and I was like, Thibodeau, and it's like when they said Sauce, I mean, I wasn't upset, but I was just like, oh, okay, we need a corner. I was just like, even though we haven't had a pass rush in forever, but fast forward to the end of the draft when we got it, JJ, the plan all came together because I think we all knew we were going to get the receiver with pick number 10, but I never in my wildest dreams thought he would showcase the way he did in that rookie season. Not in a million years.
It was weird because I was yelling Thibodeau only because of position. It wasn't that I wasn't in love with Sauce Gardner. Like I thought he was amazing. I thought he was great. we took him, and I was like, oh my God, we're not getting an edge. Holy shit, right? And I'm freaking out. But part of me is excited, like, holy shit, we're getting Sauce Gardner. Oh my God, the guy never gives up touchdowns in college. He's long, he's lanky. He backed it up in the combines. He's special. Like, like I was excited. I never would have imagined. Like, I thought he was going to be really good as a rookie. I did. I thought he's definitely going to be one of the better starters in the NFL, and we were set in that position. But there's no way anybody could say they would have thought that he would have this season. It's historic.
No.
What he did as a rookie. It's historic.
He plays like Darrell Rivas, but he's built like Antonio Cromartie. He's so tall and lanky.
Yeah. I mean, he had, if you watch, I remember the combines, I just thought, oh my God, like he just looked like a star. Just, like I said, you don't just, like, he's just born with a special body type. I mean, the guy was just solid muscle and just, and then when you, oh, we lost you on the camera, but can you still hear me? Is it me? No, I think it's Vinny. We'll give him a chance to come back on. But what I was saying was in the documentary, if I don't know how many of you, if you haven't watched it, go onto YouTube and welcome back.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna have to hop off in just a minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was just gonna talk about the documentary with Sauce Gardner. And if you saw that, if we would have seen that before the season, then we would have had more of a clue. Because the guy, the kid has never not stood out in his life.
That I actually haven't been able to watch. I got to check on that. I'm still waiting. Oh, it's on YouTube.
Go onto YouTube and do a search for Sauce Gardner documentary or whatever. It'll pop right up.
Definitely.
It's a great watch.
We'll do probably before bed tonight. Hey, Jeremy, thank you again for having me on, and we'll be in touch as always.
All right, brother. Take care.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. All right. That was Vincenzo. He's a big Jets Lounge guy. He's been hanging out with the lounge. He's been watching this show for a long time, too. So huge supporter of the show, and I'm glad he called in. He's also got his own channel. He's done a little bit of his own stuff. I should have given him a chance to promote it and plug it a little bit, but he could put it in the chat if he wants. And we'll have him on as a guest on a Wednesday someday, so he'll have a whole evening to talk to us. I was amazed. You were amazed by Sauce. Yeah, me too. He got beaten Buffalo based on what both he and the Bills said about the play. They made a new route for a rookie with their WR1. Amazing. Yeah, the fact that they worked so hard and designed that play speaks volumes, right? And that's exactly what one of the things I'm excited about with Aaron Rodgers and Sauce, and what Aaron Rodgers said to Sauce. One of the things I get excited about that, because when you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers that's so experienced and he comes up to a Sauce Gardner, he said, hey, I'm going to tell you and help you, because I'm going to tell you how they're going to come at you this year. That's the kind of thing that will prevent that play we saw in Buffalo. That's what Aaron Rodgers is talking about. So Aaron Rodgers has been around long enough that he could sit there and he could take the perspective of an offensive coordinator, right? And say, how would I attack? I could see Hackett doing it with him. How would we attack a Sauce Gardner? How would we deal with him? And then go up to Sauce Gardner and tell him, or even do it in practice and try it. See if it works and say, okay, some team's going to figure that out. So now you have to learn how to deal with that and defend that. So, and that's one of the advantages of having an Aaron Rodgers, because our defense got to that top 5 level. How did they get better? Well, you put in Aaron Rodgers against them in practice. That's how they get better. Now they got to sit there and defend against Aaron Rodgers practice after practice after practice. And don't only go by last year, because this year in practice, he's not going to have what he had in Green Bay. He's going to have our weapons. He's going to have Garrett Wilson. He's going to have Conklin. He's going to have, all these running backs, all these tight ends, it's going to be different. Green Bay's offense around Rodgers wasn't very good last year. Lazard was his only weapon. And Lazard should not be your WR1. That's not how we're using him. We're using Lazard as a split WR2 with Corey Davis, He's a 2-3 wide receiver. He's sharing. It's kind of like Corey Davis and him. It'll rotate each game depending on how the other teams are playing, depending on who they cover and what their coverages are like, depending on who's hot. You know what I mean? There'll be games where you think Corey Davis is still the number 2, and there'll be days where Lazard's getting tons of targets and he looks like the number 2, which is a good thing. But when I watched 2 replays so far already of not just our game against Aaron Rodgers. I watched the Detroit Green Bay game of the last one of the season. I watched the Giants Green Bay game, and I really paid attention. And let me tell you something. Not only was Rodgers banged up for that Giant game, but a lot of the plays wasn't his fault. Like, it was really hard to find fault with him. Like, as I'm watching the game, I'm like, well, that guy just dropped a pass. Or a guy got through unblocked, and before he could even look up, he was being sacked. Like, there was so much that there was nothing he possibly could have done. But another thing I noticed was when he's in the red zone, he freaking scores. And when a guy gets one-on-one coverage downfield, he throws the ball. He doesn't need the guy to have 3 steps to feel safe throwing it. When Aaron Rodgers reads one-on-one coverage downfield, he throws the ball. Finally, we have a quarterback that will throw the football when you get a good matchup. Now, when that play with the Giants, it was a pass interference call. It wasn't even a great pass, but it doesn't matter. It's the fact that they just had a quarterback that was willing to throw the ball in that situation. I cannot believe who's going to come onto the show right now. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, the great one, the salty one, Sean Dalton.
What up?
What is up, man?
Jets Chaos Lounge or Lounge Chaos? What is it?
Jets Lounge Chaos.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Man, I changed names more than a chameleon changes colors.
It was this close to being done.
So how you feeling about all this, John?
As far as Rodgers' contract?
Everything. I want to hear you in person. I'm seeing you for the first time in person. I want to see, how are you feeling? Do we have a chance to win it all this year? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling optimistic?
I mean, I definitely see playoffs. As far as winning it all, that would be fantastic. But I think our defense is going to be better because they're not going to be gassed all the time. You know, yeah. Not as many 3 and outs. So, and, you know, we're going to have a lot of leads to work with.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
The main game that concerns me is the Eagles and Kansas City.
I think those are the 2 toughest games for sure.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, they're going to be tough. I mean, that team's stacked.
Yeah, and the matchup is really ugly, man. Because like, if there's one place that we're a little bit vulnerable, it's against the run. So, and like the short game, and that's how the Eagles, you know, with their offensive line, that's how they operate.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so we're going to have to probably challenge Hurts a little bit and stack the box, and we're going to have to take a chance and be risky, you know, and, you know, have some one-on-one situations downfield and dare Jalen Hurts to beat us, because I don't see us not winning that game or stopping them if we're not stacking the box.
Yeah, I think Harlan Abraham said it earlier that, you know, our defense isn't going to be on the field half the game. So that's pretty prime.
I think people underestimate that. But I think if you notice, our defense would break down a lot near the end of a game. Once, like after a whole game of 1, 2, 3 and outs, our defense would eventually snap.
Yeah, I mean, when I used to play, you know, when it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, you get gassed real fast. You know, yeah. And pros is an even higher level. So
yeah. And plus you barely get time on the sideline to adjust.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking at the screens and they're saying, this is what we need to change, this is what they're doing. You don't even get a chance to do that. It's like you sit down and then all of a sudden you're punting.
Right.
It's getting ready to come back onto the field.
So you're going to make it to any of the games up north?
I don't know yet. I would like to make it to at least one game
Mm-hmm.
for MetLife. I know that I'm probably, I'd say I'm 80% going to the Raiders game in Vegas.
Ah, okay.
So that's about an 80%. And then MetLife is probably 50-50.
Hmm. Yeah, I wanted to go to that home opener last year. Harry W. He actually lives like 10 minutes away from me. So, and he made it. But I don't know. This year I'd like to get to one, but I haven't been to a game in years because my eyesight. Like you go to the games and the last one I went to, you barely see anything. Because they were down the other end of the field. But
Yeah.
I like the tailgate party though.
The tailgate's fun. And, what was good about the game we went to, the opener, was you could have sat in the hangar and there's a big screen TV.
Wow.
So it was like you go out, you check some of the game out, but then you could just go out with, you hang out with a bunch of other Jet fans from the Jets Lounge and from here and just hang out and watch it on the TV, which is the second half. That's what I did. So I was sick, it was wet, it was cold. I was like, I'm going inside and watching.
Yeah, it would have been cool, seeing everybody that you talk to on these streams and everything. That would have been pretty cool. So,
well, find out what game Green Bean's going to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they've announced it yet, but they said they were going to have a game that they all go to. So
yeah, I know it wasn't a home opener. I heard he was talking about something with Ryan. Forgot which game it was.
Yeah,
thought it might have been the third game at home.
Yeah, and look, they're easy to find because Matt O'Leary, it's like sticks out like a sore thumb.
I didn't realize how tall that guy was.
Oh yeah, you could look. You could have 1,000 people in that parking lot, and you have 1,000 people in the parking lot. And you're like in your area, and just look around and say, "Oh, there's Matt O'Leary." So it's just like towering over everybody.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to do a quick check-in. So I never did this before. So
hey, man, I'm glad you did. It's nice to hear and talk to you, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And if I do go to a game, obviously I'm going to try to do it that game that all those guys go. So
yeah,
hopefully you'll make it up, and we'll get to hang out and drink a beer or something.
Absolutely. So
all right.
Take it easy, Jeremy.
All right, my brother. Take care.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the famous Salty Nolte, John Nolte. Love him. We the people, put this SC in your pocket, Don't tell nobody. Thank you, we the people. I appreciate it. It looks like I'm gonna need a new light. So I actually gotta rethink everything. I gotta it's really, I say me, but it's really my wife. I get too stressed out about it. She's gonna figure this out, how I'm gonna be able to plug in the microphone and what else do I need to plug in? Oh, I need to plug it into my screen. I have this 42-inch freaking screen on the desk, staring at me that I usually put the YouTube version on. So I could see the chat and that's what I usually read off of. Anyway, thanks for the super chat because that kind of stuff goes a long way. This way I could justify it to my wife. I could say, look, it's paying for itself. They're giving me the money. So it's not like I'm throwing all this money into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another long-time listener, first-time caller from my hometown of Canarsie. Afram.
Canarsie, how are you?
What's going on, brother?
Finally get to talk to you face to face.
That's awesome. What's going on? How are you?
Did you fix the door yet? No. Unbelievable.
No, it's almost it's ready to it's literally ready to go.
Okay.
My wife is not strong enough to hold it in place. So and we've been away for the last week, and I got a friend who's gonna come over. Everything is set up. I got the drill bit measured. This is the right drill bit, fits into the screws. The screws are hanging in the bracket. I just need to hold it to the new hole, to the holes that are now filled. And I use toothpicks and I use liquid wood. So now it's all dry. And I think that it's going to come in nicely.
You got a crowbar? Small one?
Maybe. I gotta
put that underneath the door and step on it and hold it up one side while you hold it and line it up. Screw, boom, boom, you're in.
Oh man,
tip of the shade, Albanian way.
You Albanians, man, you know how to do everything. My best friend, one of my best friends from college, she lived on Highland Boulevard, right by the Verrazano Bridge, and it's all Croatian and Albanian.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because they told me at the dinner, oh yeah, there they don't get along, but here everybody's friends because our cultures are so, like, we realize they're really more similar than they are different when you're in America. So it was really funny because I would watch, like, she took me to our uncle's house, and they were literally converting their basement into an apartment.
Right.
And I'm watching her cousins and her uncles all carrying giant pieces of sheetrock. Knock
it right out. Knock it right out.
There's no such thing as hiring somebody. Everything was done.
No code, nothing. Just put it right up. Get it in and right as soon as possible before someone sees anything.
I know. It is shameful that, you're right. I can imagine a crowbar being able to, like, if you leverage it, like
leverage it one end, you hold it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah. But my buddy's going to come. I just got to get him over. He's retired. He's not even working, and I'm here all day now. I can get him over here any time of the week. I just got to get him over here and do it,
So you're psyched this season?
I'm pretty psyched.
I'm very psyched.
I say it every year. I'm excited about this year, but this is the first time in a long time I'm going. I mean, how many seasons do we go into really believing this could be the year?
Well, I've been a fan since '78, so there's a lot of seasons.
Okay, so 83, right, or 82?
82.
Thought this could be the year. 99, after the 98 season, we believe this could be the year.
Right.
2010, this could be, it's only a few.
Well, 10, I think we lucked in with they took out Peyton that game, and we were basically out at that point. But hey, you take what you get,
Yeah, you got to take.
Not our fault that they did that.
Yeah,
and that could sparks up the team. But I'm just waiting to see, and it'd be lots of cuts. I haven't seen any cuts yet. From other teams, but there's got to be some casualties of cap casualties coming up that they post one cuts. So I think
it's weird.
JD's waiting for.
Well, it's weird because this year they're not going down slowly. Like this year, I think they're going literally from 90 directly to 53. Right. So we're not going to have those rounds of cuts, or maybe there's one cut.
They keep changing these rules.
It's going to be weird because if there's no rounds of cuts, then it's going to be a freaking free-for-all. Like that day that you have to go down to 53 is going to be an absolute free-for-all. Right. Because you're going to have all these teams releasing, 38 guys. And all these guys, come and get the guys that get through going to practice. It's going to be kind of. They might regret changing the rule because it's going to be a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't give these time. You don't give these guys. If you do that, you don't give these guys enough time to showcase themselves either, especially the young guys. The seasoned veterans. You know what they're capable of doing, but these young guys, that you're trying to showcase to see what they can do, especially for a special teams position. You're not really being fair to them at that point.
Yeah.
But oh no, they'll try it out, and if it doesn't pan out, if the Players Associations has a problem with it, they'll change it back again.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think we've got a lot of positivity going on, and I'm looking at at least I said it another 14-3. I'm looking at 14-3.
It's not crazy. If you look at Aaron Rodgers when he had good teams around him, the Packers did it every year. They would win 13, 14 games. Yeah. Almost every year they were doing that.
You say this. I've seen teams, it all comes down to matchups. And sometimes teams, you match up better on the team, a really good team, than that team you're playing, and vice versa. So it comes down in how well you can perform. And now we don't have to worry about 3 and outs constantly. You could see the last 6 games, they were worn out. The defense was worn out. It's clear as day.
Yeah.
No time to rest eventually, and if you can't score any points, what good is it at that point? Yeah,
and you're not getting to, like, the defense, it's tense. There's a lot of pressure on everyone. You're not having fun because when you're up a few touchdowns, it's fun. Right. You get to, they're forced to pass every play. You get predictability. You get to tee off. You get to
Exactly.
rush the quarterback. They don't get to have that fun.
Yeah.
When every game your offense is not scoring and the pressure is not only on you to hold the other team, but like you actually have to score points if you want to win.
Right.
It's a
And
defense.
now you have a quarterback who could come down within a minute and a half and take you to the end zone. So the other team's got to worry about that too. So they're going to force balls themselves to try to get as many points as possible. So
yeah,
it's I can't wait. I mean, really nothing else going on. I'm really psyched for the football season this year, a lot more than the past years. But let's hope for the best, right?
that's it. I mean, right now I think what we have to like enjoy that feeling, right? Like let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy that we're looking forward to it because for right now, we know we have a really good team. We know that we have a great chance, to do some special things, and we should enjoy every moment of it because we know better than anyone after all these years. It's rare.
Sometimes the tide has to change eventually, right?
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Like my wife, 'cause since I've been with her, pretty much the Jets are horrible, except for the first couple of years with the Rex years. And I always tell her, she's like, "Are they ever going to be good?" I said, "Yeah, it always comes around."
Listen, if my Rangers could win after how many years the Cup in '94, the Jets can also win after a certain period of time. Right? There's teams out there that haven't won anything since existence.
Right? No Super Bowls. So.
And the Super Bowl was on today on the NFL Network. Did you see it?
I didn't.
Jets Super Bowl III.
Oh, cool. I don't think I've ever watched the full game.
I watched. I didn't realize they were up 16-0 at going into before the Colts scored a touchdown. It was like the first half was like 3 interceptions and a fumble they got off of them. Goal line interceptions. It was pretty amazing. It was amazing to see the graphics. It's just how primitive are they compared to now, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch it. Okay.
I'm glad I finally get to talk to you. I'll try to catch you. I mean, you're in the West Coast. I get up early, so I try to come to your channel as much as I can. But keep up the good work. You do a great job.
I appreciate that, man, and thanks for coming on.
Canarsie forever.
Take care, Canarsie. Long live Canarsie, and I'll let you know when that door's fixed.
You got it. Be well.
All right, take care. All right, that was Afram. He's been around forever. So it was good to see him. And it's an old friend. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Good old friend of mine, the V-Man. What is going on, dude?
Hi, Jeremy. What's up?
How you feeling?
Feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. We've come a long way since we first spoke and met each other. We were pretty bad. We were a pretty bad team, and it was down years and everything. And we were watching them try to rebuild, and now here we are. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad my good luck charm worked.
What was that? What was the good luck charm?
Well, I told you I live in Peekskill, where the Jets used to hold the training camps back in the '60s. So I took a Photoshop picture of Aaron Rodgers, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it underneath a rock by the sign that commemorates where they used to practice for good luck.
That is one of the most unbelievably cool things I've heard a Jets fan doing. I am bursting with pride for you right now. That is such an incredible thing that you took the time to do that, to try to just to have that, basically you try everything you can do, like whatever kind of magic, whatever kind of forces or spirits, whatever you could play and do. But that to me is brilliant. And you did that even before Rodgers came to the team.
Well, I mean, it'd be kind of counterintuitive to do it after he signed,
No, but I'm saying, when did you do it?
I would probably be when it's probably around early spring.
Wow.
Well before the Pat McAfee show announcement, probably weeks, easily at least 2 weeks before the Pat McAfee show announcement.
I love it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got to tell Green Bean that one. He's gonna love that.
You're late to the party. You knew.
Oh, did you already tell him? He knows?
Then I posted it online. I had posted it online like a while back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but sorry, just got you late. But better late than never, man.
Better late than never. That's the story I'm going to tell people. I
Yeah,
want
no.
That's pretty awesome. I want to shout out Jets Fan United. He just came back from recovering from some surgeries. So
That's
get
good.
well, my friend. It's good to see you, brother. And yeah, so obviously the most exciting thing is Aaron Rodgers. Anything else got you excited? I mean, like what else? What other things are you looking forward to other than an offense run by Aaron Rodgers? Like, what do you think is going to be really exciting about this team?
Well, I think that's obviously the big thing, having a competent quarterback. And then you look at, I think there's some really, obviously the defense is going to be another year sauce under the belt. Hopefully maybe Jermaine Johnson breaks out. Maybe we'll see what Will McDonald can do. Obviously, finally, long, long, long overdue answer, getting a long-term center, but well overdue. Obviously, big thing. But what I'm looking forward most is just actually being able to watch football again. That's what I'm looking forward to. And then the games, obviously,
Yeah.
get to watch the games. You'll finally, maybe with Aaron Rodgers, you can finally end some of those demons. Some of the monkeys on this team's back. Like, we haven't beaten the Patriots since 2015. We've never, ever, ever beaten the Eagles. All of these little things that are just, you guys, like, you haven't had a winning season since 2015. Get these monkeys off the back of this. They've been just drowning this team.
No, I agree. There's a lot of things that we have to put behind this organization. And obviously it starts with beating New England.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna say this. I know some people don't care. Some people do care. I'm just saying, of the division teams we could end the year against, I'm glad it's New England in their own house. I want to see them I want to see them brutalize it. Because you know what? Because I have that gut feeling. I know maybe not everyone feels it. People are gonna say I'm crazy, but I think that's going to be Bill's last game in New England.
That is not impossible. I mean, he's 73, I think. He's going to be 73. He'd have to be 74 to come back. And I'm not saying that you can't do it at 74, but my question really is, what has he got left? At what point does he want to just freaking take his millions of dollars
Well, the thing is that
and just move on?
The thing is with Bill is that there's one goal left for him to complete as a head coach.
Super Bowl without Brady.
No, he's never going to get that one. Passing Don Shula on the combined all-time wins list. But the thing is, like I said, you look at that team, they're just, since Brady left, they're just terrible. I mean, they're terrible. And the thing is, they don't beat good. The Patriots are a team. They stat pad against the bottom feeders of the NFL, and they get blown out and they get curb stomped by everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time they actually beat a competent team without the help of the 40-mile-per-hour winds in Buffalo?
Yeah.
You go back before that, what? The Bill, then before that, they beat the Ravens in a monsoon. All their wins against impressive teams either are due to the other team being injured or some freak weather phenomenon, like hampering their play. That's why I'm just saying, because I think it would be nothing more than poetic justice for the team. He has gone above and beyond to humiliate to end his career.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see him go. I'd love to see him leave. But I'm glad that we're going to get a chance to pound on his ass before he goes.
Oh no, definitely. Honestly, like I said, I'm just like at this point, it's I just can't wait for football. What do we have? At this point, we had the Flight 23. Just finished wrapping that up the other day. Loved it. We got, what we have next? There's rumors of Hard Knocks, and then we got training camp. Obviously the Hall of Fame is going to be fun, seeing Revis and Klecko. Let's be honest, who are the first true Jets defensive players in the Hall of Fame, which is crazy considering we're a team people generally associate with defense.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think that's insane though. It's like up until this point, every Hall of Famer you generally associate with the Jets.
Mhm.
Like I'm not talking guys who are here for 5 minutes. Like guys whose careers are they are green and white through and through. Like Joe Namath, quarterback, Don Maynard, wide receiver. Weave Eubank was a head coach, but offensive-minded head coach. He worked with quarterbacks and offensive line for a living. That was his background. What else? You got Curtis Martin, Kevin Mawai. Like all offense up till this point. I'm not forgetting anyone. I'm not forgetting anyone, am I? Legit Jets Hall of Famers. I'm not talking about guys who just made a stop here for 5 minutes.
No. So far, you're right. I mean, it seems like it's only now that we're starting to see the defensive recognition. But you're right. You're naming the guys. I mean, it's Namath and Maynard, and then Curtis Martin, and yeah. I mean, you're pretty spot on.
Yeah, no, but I'm just like I said, I'm just looking forward to this. And looking at and what I find what is it? No. I'm just like I said, it's like I can't wait for football. I mean, it's just like you just look at the calendar, and as much as I love the warm summer, the nice warm breeze, relaxing, chilling by the beach, nice cold beer. Part of me just wants to get back to the tailgates, the cool autumn breeze rushing through the stadium, the roaring crowd of fans, Fireman Ed revving up the crowd like he always does, and just watching, Quinton Williams like make another quarterback's life a living hell.
Yeah, it feels to me like as soon as the season ends, I'm just waiting for everything that you just said. It's just like it's like, okay, let's just get to the free agency. Okay, now let's get to the draft. Let's get to camp. Let's training camp. Let's go.
One thing I want to do is host my own tailgate. That's one of my bucket list one of these days. Be an authentic Puerto Rican tailgate. I'll make pinchos de pollos and tripletas.
Oh, that'd be awesome. You get some mofongo too, maybe a little.
And maybe I'll make bacalaito. Right. Do you know what a tripleta is?
I think I'll know once you tell me. Like I was in Puerto Rico. I mean, most of the food that I ate was always about like the
plantains.
It's always about the plantains and the mofongo and the black bean sauce and the pork or the But what is it?
So it's kind of like a Puerto Rican spin on a cubano. So, but instead it adds an extra meat to the mix. So instead of just pork shoulder and ham slices, it's pork shoulder, ham slices, and grilled steak. And you pack it high. You put some garlic on there, some Puerto Rican mayo ketchup, cheese, potato wedges, and it's like packed up on this big like Puerto Rican bread roll.
Sounds great. That sounds great to me.
I've been spending the last part of my obviously I have been spending a lot of few weeks on a bit of cultural discovery, trying to find myself and my heritage. Obviously, Puerto Rican Day Parade like right around the corner. National Puerto Rican Day is right around the corner, so it's another thing I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that you were Puerto Rican. That's great. I love that you go to the parade. I was one of my favorite. I used to love that in the city when I lived in Manhattan. I used to love the days like that because the food and just the music and celebration. It was always fun.
A lot of obviously you have a lot of different music from obviously the salsa, reggaeton if you're really old, bomba music, It's like there's a lot of cultural stuff. I just been like, you know what? You probably don't even know what the Puerto Rican Day Parade celebrates. It's not pleasant.
It's not what? Oh, is it? Is there?
It-
I thought it was just celebrating like the joy of being Puerto Rican. But is there a specific thing?
Well, it celebrates the repeal of the gag laws, which basically, number one, made it illegal to wave the flag, 10 years in prison. You couldn't whistle if you whistled a Puerto Rican folk tune, 10 years in prison.
Oh
You
my
played
God.
vocal music, 10 years in prison. You made any hint towards the notion of Puerto Rican independence, 10 years in prison. Like, so basically, when the law was repealed in the 50s, there was such an exuberance of pride that the parade was kickstarted to commemorate the repeal of the gag laws.
That's amazing, man. You always teach me something. Every time you come on, I learn something new.
Yeah, no, I know. I learned more too. Well, a lot of it's honestly my sister been teaching me about it because, you know, she has her activist groups that runs in the city to get acknowledgement for some of this stuff. And yeah, no, like, and she just came back from the island, and I'm planning to go up there myself.
That's awesome. I was in my friend got married in San Juan, and
Far from where my family's from.
oh yeah, we
Town right, it's a city right outside of that. It's called Caguas.
That's amazing. We had a great time. We went and we stayed in a beautiful hotel. They got married in the hotel.
Did you go anywhere outside of San Juan?
The only place I went was we took a bus ride to the Petrified Forest.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I'm planning to go up. What I'm planning to do there is the hot springs and the rainforest.
Oh, that's what I meant, not the Petrified. I said it wrong. We went to the rainforest.
You know,
We went hiking in the rainforest.
Puerto Rico's Mount Olympus.
It was beautiful. I still got pictures of it.
Oh, did you hear the frogs?
Yeah.
They're adorable.
We also went to it wasn't far away. We went to the Bacardi distillery.
Oh, that's cool.
I highly recommend it. They do a tour. It's a lot of fun. And at the end, you get to like drink. You get 2 free drink tickets. So you get to get 2 different Bacardi drinks. It's kind of nice.
What'd you end up getting?
I did a cherry Sprite and Bacardi rum. I think it was a Bacardi cherry rum in Sprite.
My go-to rum is my go-to drink with rum is Cuba Libre, which is rum, soda, Coke, and lime juice.
Nice. I like it. Did you know that Bacardi was originally in Cuba?
Yeah, no, Bacardi was originally in Cuba.
Yeah.
I actually remembering. Actually for earlier this week, for like when it was Memorial Day, I was right before Memorial Day came up. Someone sent me this feed on a unit of Puerto Rican troops during the Korean War called the 65th Infantry Regiment in Boricua years. I'm reading their history. I'm like, how do these guys not have their own Band of Brothers miniseries? So like I was reading it, like, so they had 10 in Korea, 10 decorated service crosses. One was upgraded to Medal of Honor. Over 400 silver stars. 700, I think about like maybe around at least around 300 bronze stars, and 2,000 purple hearts. And no, and I'm saying, like, they have movies about Native American soldiers, they have movies about African American soldiers, they have movies about Japanese American soldiers. Yet there's no movie or miniseries on this shit. It's kind of like fascinating.
Kind of crazy.
I'll let you get to someone else.
Well, hey man, I'm going to end the show. I'm glad you came on. I haven't seen you in a while, so it was good to see you.
I saw your show. I was driving home, and I saw your show. I had to get in before you called it a day.
Perfect. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You have an amazing week. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye, man. All right. So thanks to everybody who called in. That got going. That was fun. Everybody started coming in. I like that. That was cool. That was a lot of fun. So let's do it again next week if we can. Hello to everybody that came in. I saw Hader Ali came, Ant came, A bunch of you guys joined in as I was talking and going. I highlighted your chat. That's my way of saying hi. Edward, I saw you. That's why I highlighted your chats and put it up there. I just wanted to let you know I see you all, and I appreciate you guys coming in. And I'll try to give more warning on when these shows come in. I know I kind of popped in last second. I'm surprised. I'm expecting an email from Twisted to yell at me and all that stuff. And I Hank G, what's going on? And I didn't give a good. I got to do one roll of the lefts. Chris Bradigan. Okay, I had to do that at least once. Good to see everybody. Have an amazing week. I'll be back on Wednesday night for the Wacky Wednesday show. Hopefully, I'll get some videos in this week as well. As you guys know, there's not much to talk about, but I'll do my best and try to find something. And I'll leave you with this. Don't not be Thibodeau. And here it comes. It's about to come in. Oh my God! They didn't. They took Sauce Gardner. Oh my God, they don't want an edge. Maybe he likes Jermaine Johnson at 10. Then we're not going to get a wide receiver? Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. Oh my God, no edge.
Who's sitting there?
The Jets traded up. Are we taking JJ? Are we taking JJ? Because I know Braden is in New Zealand saying, we should get 9, Mike. He's definitely saying that. JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great! Yes! They took Roger McCreary, they didn't take Dean, and we traded up. We can get the Kobe Dean. It really is. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. But there's also Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is the best tight end in the class personally. They took Jeremy Ruckert. Yes! We got a Jeremy. Oh, and the Jets pick, and it's Max Mitchell, offensive tackle. We needed that. That's wow. We took Michael Clemens. I never heard of him. A defensive edge.